pathetic.
In this episode of Fix It Bongbong, we get Jess's 2011 Volkswagen Tiguan back on the road.
Well, it was never off the road, but...
Okay, shut up.
Right. You know what I mean.
Alright, so in the shop today we have Jess's 2011 Volkswagen Tiguan, and it's in here because a couple days ago you said you were driving on the highway, check engine light came on, and it was running kind of rough.
And then check engine light flashing,
Yeah.
and lost power.
Okay, so you took it in to have the code scanned it like an advanced auto, and what was it?
It was a misfire on cylinder 3.
Okay, so there are a number of things that cause a misfire. Typically it could be bad spark plugs, ignition coils, hopefully one of those two things and nothing worse. So we're going to go through the car today and try and eliminate or identify what the problem is. Got myself a handy little OBD2 scanner here, and we're just going to verify the claim from the auto store that it is in fact an engine misfire. You have an OBD2 port on cars 96 and newer, and you just plug the unit in. Right down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen this.
Alright, here we go. P0303. So, one of 3 faults. We got a cylinder 3 misfire detected. So, alright. So what we're going to do is we're going to clear these codes. Alright, so we cleared the codes. So, we verified that it does in fact, it threw a code for a cylinder 3 misfire. So to help narrow down the problem, I want to identify if the ignition coil has gone bad or is faulty. So what we're going to do is we're literally going to swap the cylinder 3 ignition coil over to cylinder 1 or another one. We'll drive the car around and see if we can have the same fault occur in a different cylinder. If it does, then more than likely it's a faulty ignition coil. If it doesn't, then we'll go ahead and swap the spark plug, since I think they're original in this car and we have 80,000 miles on it, so it wouldn't hurt to do that anyway. So first thing, we're going to pop the hood.
Oh yeah.
Nice. And to gain access to your spark plugs and ignition coils, we're actually going to pull this plastic cover off. Right here. So,
See how nice and clean this is? Got a dead ant.
It's
over
beautiful.
here. It's real nice.
Wow.
Nothing but love.
Okay.
alright, so we're just going to go ahead and try and find a way to pull this cover off. Move your top cover.
No, that was tough.
Right here, bro. If you look right here, these are your spark plugs and ignition coils. And cylinder 3 is this one right here. And the way it numbers is cylinders closer to the accessory belt side is 1, and 4 is towards the transmission side. So this is the faulty cylinder that we're having. So these Volkswagen electrical connectors, the trick here is to press down, push in, and then pull out. So press down, push in, and then pull out. Oh, okay.
There we go.
So now we've got the coils disconnected.
So you just gotta give it a little bit of a pep talk.
This is the suspect cylinder here. I'm gonna pull her up real quick. We're gonna switch her over down to cylinder 1.
Wow, buddy.
How's she looking? That's not good.
Smells like crayons. Volkswagens just smell like crayons.
They all smell like crayons.
They smell like crayons inside the car. They smell like crayons under the hood. All right. So,
I don't like that.
one.
If it's the spark plug, then now the number 1 cylinder should misfire. Is that right?
If it's the coil,
The coil.
the number 1 cylinder should
the
start.
ignition coil.
And we're gonna go ahead and mark.
Shows you what I know. Alright.
So clip her all back together.
Yeah, let's get out and lead foot it.
Pretty much.
I got you on this one.
There's old Leadfoot over here.
Cool. All right, on to the test drive. Just
Safety first, buckle up.
good. So you're gonna take it for a test drive. You're gonna floor it and see if you can get some misfire.
Old Leadfoot back at it.
All right, so the car's back from the test drive, and you're saying it was misfiring. So we're scanning it now to see if it's still in fact a cylinder 3 misfire. Cylinder 1 misfire detected.
Oh.
So look at that. So we're back from the test drive. It was still misfiring. And remember, we took cylinder 3 coil pack and moved it over to cylinder 1. And now it's saying cylinder 1 misfire is detected. So that right there tells me, well, the faulty part was the actual coil pack. But while we're under the hood, we're gonna go ahead and replace the spark plugs and then the faulty coil pack and see if that fixes it. What we're gonna do is we've identified that this coil is indeed faulty because it was in cylinder 3 and that was causing a cylinder 3 misfire. We moved it over to cylinder 1 and guess what? We now have a cylinder 1 misfire. So we're gonna go ahead and swap this faulty, or what I suspect a faulty ignition coil out for a brand new one. And before doing all that, we're actually gonna go ahead and replace all the spark plugs. And Jess was awesome enough to go down to the dealership and we have OEM replacement parts. So that's cool. Okay. Oh yeah. So we're pretty, you can see right there, we're pretty fouled out. So we're gonna go ahead and replace these plugs. Before we install the new spark plugs, what we're gonna do is we're going to prep these by adding a little dab of anti-seize to the threads. And what that'll do is that'll prevent these plugs from getting stuck in there, and dab right there on the threads. And when that thread's in, that will be that'll keep it from getting stuck later. And note with these, if you get them from the dealership, these are OEM plugs. They're already pre-gapped, so you don't have to worry about spark plug gap. So I'm going to go ahead and do these for all 4 of the plugs, and we'll go ahead and install them right back into the car. All right, so we got the new spark plugs. So we're going to go ahead and install these right back in the car. We're not going to worry about torquing these down just yet. We're just going to replace all 4 and come back with a torque wrench and install them. But I always start them by hand just to make sure we're not cross-threading them. Alright, so the final part here when you're doing your spark plugs, just make sure you use the factory torque spec, as with anything important on a car, which I think is 18 foot-pounds in this car, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. So now I'll just go ahead and reinstall the coils. They just literally press right back in there. And the new one. Please fit. And then we just go ahead and clip her back together. So under 4, so under 3, 2, 1. And again, cover right back on. Why don't you come to your senses? And you're done. Now you take it for a test ride and hope to God it works.
Let's do it.
Alright, Jess, how'd the car ride?
It rode awesome. It was great. Smooth as silk, super fast, better than ever. Thanks, Josh. So if you like what you saw today, like, share, subscribe. Fix it, Bongbong. Fix my shit.